Crews were out here overnight and well into the morning. You can see just how large of a cleanup it's been, a massive hole now in the street. We watched them excavate it using a backhoe. They were drilling into the ground, and then crews using shovels to just get to where the lines burst. The impact mostly was to the street, although there is a nearby church that also had some water damage, a church that had been making renovations for months.
See, follow the damage, all the water in. This one, we just did it like last 2 days. Now,
So you just did renovations in here,
Yep.
is what you're saying?
Yep.
And then, boom.
Boom,
water
now the water in again. Okay, be careful. Careful.
On this church surveillance camera capturing the water rushing into the alleyway at around 11:25 p.m. You can see just how close the Wesley Church of San Diego is to where the lines got busted. A fence no match for the massive water break buckling the asphalt. The vice chair of the church, Brian Wynn, carefully took us into every room on the bottom floor of the church, each now covered with puddles and mud. He had been working on the electricity in one of their meeting rooms until 11 last night, and then he got home and got a call about what was going on. He watched on his surveillance cameras all of that water pouring in, damaging a whole lot of their hard work and all the money they put into these renovations. The church's Vacation Bible School had just ended last week, but it will likely impact some future gatherings for them on the bottom floor. A headache of a cleanup ahead. Here's what witnesses who were out here had to say.
We're literally just driving home from my sister's house, and right on 52nd we just started seeing water, and we followed it up, and we literally just drove all the way through here, literally through the street, and just saw like a piece of like the street lifted. And then when we did the U-turn, then we just started seeing like all these, like the rest of the water coming out.
What a bizarre sight that must have been for them, but you can just see that rushing water in the middle of the night. Cars were parked on either side of the road. Nearby were apartments, and then there's multiple businesses along El Cajon Boulevard. People who live in the area started to come outside to watch everything going down for themselves. San Diego PD did arrive on the scene after getting the call around 11:30 p.m. Their vehicles had to also navigate through the water. They said that the street just got torn up and water started bursting out of multiple holes. At this point, though, at last check, they do believe that this part of El Cajon Boulevard will be reopened by mid-afternoon. But back out here, you can see that there is still, of course, that large hole as they have been working on it, just multiple crews really trying to patch things up. Of course, there isn't any water out here anymore, and even some of the piles of mud that were out here when we arrived at around 4:30 this morning have also now been cleaned up. As far, though, as the damage for the church, crews were already out there assessing it this morning. The church says that the city will be paying for the repairs, but I did check with the city, and it says that the church will first need to file a claim through them.